Sure.
Hi. So as most of you guys may know, I was president last year, so the president position is like very important to me. So I guess I have a few questions for you guys, but I'll let everyone ask their questions before I give multiple ones. But as most of you guys know, we are BES before we are NESB, so that means we take care of our family here at home first before we go out to venture to other things. So how do you plan to keep BES mission #1 within the organization?
Starting with James.
Okay, that's a good question. My thing is, of course, BES mission to retain, and release. Pardon me. Excuse me. This is all getting into my head right now. You know, we have to make sure that we do that by making sure that the academic excellence chair is on point, by making sure that our programs are on point. And me as a president, I want to make sure that, like I said before, that the people that are in charge of these positions make sure that they are accountable for this. I want to make sure that me as president to get the point across, but I need the e-board behind me to make sure that they do the jobs that are allocated to them. And like Abisola was mentioning about trying to get focus on more tutoring, how John was talking about making the tutoring program much stronger within this organization. It's my job as president to make sure that they are doing what they said they were going to do, and not only make sure they do it, but also assist them when they're in need. And then after that, I have to make sure that the members are aware of what great things that our board is doing, what our organization is doing. And through that, through accountability, through gaining on the members, I believe that we can successfully fulfill this BES mission.
As you know, our BES mission is to recruit, retain, and release qualified minorities in the fields of computer science, engineering, mathematics, and physical sciences. That's a little bit different from the NESB mission, which is only to focuses on engineering majors. In order to shift towards the BES mission and keep a focus on it, I would open our organization to not just engineering school, but to the CMPS as well. We need to start highlighting our computer science, our mathematics, and physical sciences majors, making sure that they feel that they are appreciated in our organization as well, because they are part of our mission, so we need to include them. Another thing I'd like to implement, Stephanie brought this up the other day with the banquet. We only recognize engineering majors, and I don't think that's right. As part of BES, we are supposed to incorporate all of us. So we just need to start meeting with the center saying, you know, maybe we can open it to CMPS as well. Have some of those students recognized who are doing well academically so that we can continue to fulfill our personal mission statement.
One thing that I kind of like to say is that we're kind of inspired the video this year NESB taught me. I often say that NESB taught me how to respond quickly to questions. So I'm going to ask you guys a question that I was asked last week that I had to answer quickly and give so I'd like you guys to both give a response on how you'd respond. So this was a parent at the STEM Expo, and she asked about her daughter. She was just accepted to high school, and she has been accepted to 2 different schools, which are both pretty good schools. One of them focuses more on academics overall, and they're very strong in academics overall. The other one is an engineering program, and it's a good engineering program, but it's just engineering. That's what they're known for. She asked what was my advice for what school she should send her daughter to because she was split.
Yes. Yes. When I would be asked that question, my first step would be to ask what was her daughter's, goals, or what did she see herself doing? Was it engineering? Is that what she wanted to do, or was she not sure yet? If the daughter already knew that she was going to be going into STEM field, then I would push engineering, because we all know that engineering is something that a lot of black students don't even know about. I certainly didn't know about it until I was about to graduate high school. So if it's something that if she's interested in the math science portion of her studies, then I would push the engineering school. The world can only use more engineers that are minorities.
Right. If I was approached with this lady, I would ask her what does her daughter want? What is she seeing right now? And I will also say, like, usually when you're young, you're hard pressed on something, and you know you want to be it. Since I was in the 5th grade, I knew I wanted to do architecture. I'm not an architecture major anymore, but if the student is hard pressed on engineering, by all means go for it. But I will also encourage her to let her child know that when you're in this school, that this is it. So you want to try to make the best of it. And if she graduates not liking engineering, then she can then say, that's one major I know I'm never going to be, and that's one step forward into finding her major. So I would if she's hard pressed on engineering, go for it. If she's not sure, I would then turn her to the really good academic school and let her look for colleges while she's young that have engineering colleges.
Jamal?
One of the big pieces of being a president, or being the president of this particular organization, is your visibility. So the president pretty much has to be at everything. He has to be at the GBMs, he has to make an appearance, or he or she, I'm sorry, he or she, I'm sorry. He or she has to be at the GBMs, he or she has to be at the torch sessions, or at least make some type of appearance, zone summits, all these different events that happen throughout the semester. You know, there's only so many times you can use the whole academic excuse, or the whole I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, family thing, whatever. You have to be visible, point blank. So how do you all plan to deal with those things, even though, you know, both of you are taking very vigorous course loads?
For those who was here 2 years ago when I was PCI chair, I implemented I helped implement the torch session, which to be held 4 times a semester at 9 o'clock, bright and early, Saturdays. And I would have to be there every time. When I was the PCI chairperson here 2 years ago, I used to be in every single thing right and ready to get my best foot forward. When I joined the regional executive board this year, I gave my best foot forward in the regional position. Everything that we had to do, I tried to give my 100%. And knowing that, coming from having the rigorous courses that I have now, and being able to plan an entire PCI conference with over 250 plus students going through that semester, and then along with helping prepare for national convention, without a shadow of a doubt, I know that I can help lead this chapter and be everywhere and anywhere that duty calls for me. Thank you.
It's actually a very good question. Because I wanted to be president since I joined the society, I've actually planned ahead for that question. The course that I've taken, I've actually almost finished my mechanical engineering degree. So next school year, I don't have as rigorous of a course load as most seniors will have. I have the time to dedicate. I'm going to take 2 hardcore mechanical engineering classes, and so my time is there. I prepared for this. I knew that it was a time commitment, and I know I'm ready. It's something I wanted to do, and I'm going to do it, and I'll be there to see my face.
John?
Yeah, I know you guys have talked a lot about academic excellence, but I think another thing that helps with academic excellence is in career prospects. How do you really hope to bring certain career prospects to light, to members more, to get them more encouraged to do what academic?
Can you repeat that?
So I'm talking about how you hope to make career prospects more visible to members, to help them be more interested in excelling academics.
You mean companies?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I suppose if you want the company, if you're trying to figure out how we're going to get companies to look at our strong students, is that the question?
No. So what I'm saying is the whole GPA point, at the end of the day, you want to get a good job. So I think having ideas of what careers are out there, and it's going to help students excel more, it's going to make them more encouraged to do well academically. So how are you going to address that issue of getting members aware of prospects, career prospects out there, to get them more interested in doing that?
Yeah, definitely. We would. This year we haven't had that many company events. I regret that. I wish we had more. But that's definitely something we should focus on next year with the finance chair, whose aim is to bring in companies not only for sponsorship, but for to speak about their company, get our members interested in them, have them interested in us, is something that we would focus on next year. Just by bringing them in, introducing them to our group, and having them show what their job does. Like I know, for example, we've had companies come in, Lockheed Martin, they showed us different sectors of their branch, and me sitting in the audience, it's like, oh wow, I'm a mechanical engineer, I can relate to that sector. It gave me somewhat of a motivation, so you're correct, it does give somewhat of a motivation. So we'd have to focus on bringing in more companies, and a variety of companies, not just aerospace companies, not just defense companies, but companies that can relate to all of our majors, and CMPS also, not just engineering.
Point of clarification, are you talking about how the members can be more involved with our organization when they know they have to have academics for a job? Or are you specifically talking about getting corporations here for the members so that it can increase members to being brought here?
I think it encompasses the book. So what I'm saying basically is like being a member of BES,
Right.
it's one thing to talk about success at the moment, but it's also another thing to see where you're headed.
Right.
So I think seeing like possible career prospects out there of what you're going to be doing, like okay, say you want to be an electrical engineer and you don't really know what like some software engineering entails or something like that. So how are you going to bring these different career opportunities to the attention of members the most? Because I think most members know exactly what some of those things like really entail, and they feel like this is who I want to be.
Right.
Then like it's a given that they're going to want to excel much more academically than normally. So.
Right. I think that can tie back into the membership of us being a family aspect. That we have to know each other. Like for example, if a student is not really aware of where he or she wants to go, but they can talk to other. They know that Vernon here is sorry to use the name, is pursuing mechanical engineering. They know, so let me go talk to him. Cordell's electrical engineering, let me go talk to them because that's what I kind of want to do. So it's kind of like, it starts with us knowing each other within this organization first, and then being able to just talk to each one to make sure that they know what career path they need, what class they need to take, what companies they can look at. And through that, then it can build on us as the president, as the board, to know we have so many EEs, so many bio, so many MPs, and by that we want to try to bring in the right corporations that can fulfill the majority needs, because we all know who we are and we all know who exactly we want to target.
All right, we have Vernon, Shakira, and then Cordell, and then Aaron, and then we'll wrap up. And then Hamza.
Before Brent starts, as you know, the CMSC banquet, 31st annual CMSC banquet is next Friday. And though you all are invited, we're looking for volunteers. And it's a great way to network, meet some companies and stuff like that. So I'm gonna walk around with you, figure out, get some names, if you want to volunteer, stuff like stand at the door, pass out invitations, go to meet company execs, stuff like that. Okay. Thank you. Also, rehearsal, if you do sign up rehearsal, again, the rehearsal will be on Wednesday from 6 to 8 in the staff.
Rehearsal for
The CMS banquet. So if you're part of the banquet committee and doing some kind of volunteering, we have a rehearsal for that.
All right, Vernon.
All right, so as you know, as the president of this organization, you are the face of the whole organization. When people think of BES, they will look at one of you two. So what are your plans to make sure that the name of BES is a more relevant name and does not only the university community, but in the surrounding community around us? And how do you plan to impact that community?
First, it does start with the president themselves, and I'm a very personal person, personable person, and if I've seen any of you all in the lounge that I did not know your name, I would instantly say, hey, what's your name? How you doing? And just simple stuff like that to get connections with each other so that I make a connection with you, something so small like and slight like that. Also, I do know people in NAACP, in BSU, and I have even personal connections with them. And my hope is for it to be BSU, NAACP, ASA, BES. Something we shouldn't just be in the corner, locked away, saying, "Oh yeah, this is a really great organization," but not many people know about it. I want to put us on the map, like legitimately, by constantly going to the BSU events, constantly going to NCAA, NAACP, and ASA events, putting our bread out there. And was there another part of your question?
Yeah, how do you plan to, like, outside the university community, how do you plan to impact the surrounding community, like teaching, health, and DC?
As PCI chairperson 2 years ago, I was really big on trying to get people outside of the college, and specifically high school and below, to get them to come here. And my job as president is to make sure that we have the right programs installed for these opportunities to happen. So I will have to work closely with the program chair, closely with PCI chair, to make sure that these programs are getting affected. I really want to make this clear that as president, I will make sure that everyone will be owning up to their job. As president, I will be the figurehead, and I will be the support to each person on our board. And in order to reach out, that needs to be programs. PCI needs to help, needs to go out and create programs for that, and I will help hold them accountable so they can create the programs so that may happen. Thank you.
All right, to answer your first question, how we become more prevalent on the campus, James mentioned a good point by working with other organizations, not just NAACP and BSU, but also for me, they say ASME and SWE and SHIP and SCORE and other organizations who are like-minded, so that, because we all have a common goal there. So our events can be oriented towards what we want to achieve. We want to get jobs in these fields. We work together, etc. In addition to that, in the beginning of the school year, we have on the mall is like meet all the organizations. We do participate, but I don't think we participate enough. We're just sitting there, just like, oh, hey, we're BES. We want us to get our face out there. We got to do more. When we have these introductions to the groups, we have to come with an idea, an event at our table that makes people interested. Maybe show some of the skills that we have. Do a little activity so people walking by cannot pass us without looking. We definitely need to start doing that more so that people know who we are. And so when they see us walking down the street, oh, that's BES. I saw them on the mall on the first day of school, and that's something I want to get involved with. In terms of the community, PCI events are definitely important. I want to continue the torch sessions. Being known to high school students is something that we need to continue. In addition to that, I know that as a freshman we did like somewhat of a food bank thing where we went to like a food shelter and we packaged food for needy people in the area. That's something that we can also do. We haven't really done community service events in a long time. And if we're saying that we want to impact the community, that's something that we need to incorporate. So I would like to also do something like that. Work with my programs chair or whoever else to get events like that started.
All right. Final question? Husband?
All right, well, I actually had a couple questions, but from the last one, I'll make it quick. You were talking about, raising the bar, and you were talking about, implementing change. I just wanted to know what you guys thought was the biggest obstacle the chapter is facing now that's preventing us from getting from where we are now to what we were in years past.
Definitely, I think it's commitment, passion, and not feeling wanted. I think we need to bring that back. I know 2 years ago I came in and I was attracted immediately. People knew my name. I came in the door, like, oh, what's up, Ashley? Even though I was just a freshman, everyone knew who I was. I felt like I belonged. I think somewhere along the line, we've lost that feeling of belonging. I think something's went wrong with our e-board, and we seem to focus so much on the e-board, and it's not just the e-board, it's about the members. I wasn't on the e-board as a freshman, but I felt involved, and I was there to all the events. I think that's something that we've lost, is that sense of family within the whole organization. So that's something that we need to come back to.
And how do you plan on, you know, like making progress to changing that?
Sure. In terms of making progress change on that, I tried to do this at one of the meetings last semester. I said, everybody in the room, go talk to someone that you do not know, get their number, and talk to them again in a week. Try to do something like that. Maybe that didn't work very well because people kind of just congregated people that they did know and just exchanged numbers with people that they did know. But something like that, where you're forced to speak to someone that you would not normally talk to in an organization. Or e-board members are forced to go out to the members and make a connection. I actually met Adiola that way, and she gave me her number randomly. And I know her well now from that very first event. Just continuing stuff like that. Another issue actually I wanted to mention, I didn't mention first, was one of the obstacles we're facing is I think our academic excellence, I think that it's not where we want it to be. We have so many students that are not passing their classes the first time, taking it over again. That's not what we are standing for, and I think that needs to be changed. I would personally like to implement somewhat of a GPA goal system. So at the beginning of the year, every single member says, this is my GPA now, this is where I'd like my GPA to be after this semester or after this year. And we kind of hold to it either within your own particular major or in your own class and say, well, hey, that was your goal. How close are you to your goal? What can you do now to improve your goal? Did you meet your goal? Can you continue to move higher, etc.?
When the University of Maryland College Park chapter won Distinguished in 08, 09, it was a year before my time. And when talking, I'll never forget this, when talking with the people who were here before me, with Shakira, with Cordell, with Jamal, Jasmine Keeney, who all have great positions in NSBE, who are doing great things above and beyond, who had great positions in BES as well. When talking with them, one of the main reasons why they came to BES was because when they went to the GBM, they saw an e-board that was passionate, that had fun, and that loved to be there. And they said that they wanted to be just like them where they wanted to be at. And that's why you have so many of these people here who was from that chapter of Distinguished for their first year. Why they're in great positions now is because they had the e-board that was passionate, that was fun, and they wanted to be just and emulate it. Too long we've gone with having to come to a general body meeting bi-weekly at 5:30 to 7 p.m. Too long have we been waiting for that food just someone to say you can get the food so this GBM can be over. For too long we have just overlooked these general body meetings and not looked for substance. As president, I will make sure that each person on the e-board enjoys what they're doing. If you don't enjoy it, fake it. I will make sure that we are as cohesive as a group as possible, so that when we go to the members that don't know who we are, when we go approach the members that don't know what we're about, that they come and see us and say, we just want to be just like them, and how can I sign up so I can be like them? Thank you.
And that wraps up the Q&A.
There's actually one more question I'd like to ask just the two of you. Nobody else respond. I would like to know, can I get a 2 hype?